There's something special about avocados. People love them so much that when they finish eating them, they hang on to the seed so they could plant a tree and grow more avocados. We don't do that with any other fruit. When they finish a fruit, they hang on to the seed, put it in a glass of water like this with toothpicks, and grow it until it forms roots and starts to grow into a baby tree. But the day eventually comes, you need to transplant that tree from a glass of water to a proper pot with soil. Now there's no formula that says how long you have to leave your tree in water before you put it to soil. These two seeds were planted on the same day. And as you see, this one has a full root system and a tree starting to form, whereas this one is only starting to put out its first little bit of roots. These have been growing for about 90 days now, and this one is ready to put in a pot. Now you could leave these things in water for months, and in fact they're kind of a novelty. You know, if you change the water a lot, you can see the roots growing in there, and you can watch the tree get bigger. But if you want the tree to thrive and survive and maybe someday produce fruit, you absolutely have to get it into a pot, which is very, very simple. Just fill a pot with potting soil, dig yourself out a big enough hole to accommodate that root system. Remove your toothpicks, put that guy in the hole you made, a little bit more soil around the top. And you don't have to, but I add a little bit of fertilizer. I either use a 666 mix, or I've got this fruit fertilizer today that I'm using. Just put a little bit in the pot. You don't want to go too close to the roots so you don't burn them. And in what, 30 seconds? You got yourself a potted tree. Find a spot for this where he's going to get a lot of sunlight. If you're growing this inside, make sure it's near a big window that gets a lot of sunlight. If you're growing out in your patio, don't keep it in the shade, keep it in the sun. And you're going to want to give it a lot of water. And if you're growing this in a small place like an apartment or a townhouse or out on your patio, let me show you a simple technique that's very effective to keep this thing watered. It's called drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is a technique that delivers a low volume of water to your plant, but over a long period of time. So it keeps your plant wet all the time. And right now that's what we want for this tree. We want this tree to get as much water and sunlight as you can give it. So I have a very simple, do-it-yourself drip irrigation system made from a 5-gallon bucket. You could use a 3-gallon bucket, and tube irrigation that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. All you do is drill a little hole, pop the hose in, and you got yourself a drip irrigation system. Let me show you how it works. Set your bucket on something that's a little higher than whatever it is you're trying to water, and take the on-off valve of your tube, shut it off. Next, run your hose to the pot you want to irrigate and fasten it in place. Next, you want to put water in the 5-gallon bucket, and use your head when you're doing this, because if you live in an apartment upstairs from someone, or you're doing this out on a balcony, you don't want to cause 5 gallons of water to come flooding down into someone else's apartment. So make sure that if somehow this bucket does spill or dump or tip over, it ain't going to cause a flood. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got a bucket full of water with a tube leading right to where we want to deliver our water. So all you do now is come up, turn the system on, and you can decide with the valve. See the water dripping out? You can do this faster or slower depending on how much water you want to drip in. Now me, I never open it all the way. I'll just let this drip here into this pot for, it'll probably take 2 or 3 hours. No, it'll take more than that. It'll probably take half a day for a whole 5 gallons to drip like that. And let me stress one more time, if you're using this 5-gallon drip irrigation technique, make sure you have some way to drain that water off. You don't want it getting into your carpet, or worse, seeping down into your neighbor's apartment below you. Now, just like I say about everything I grow, your job is to do 3 things. Number 1, remove the obstacles to this tree's growth. Number 2, give it the resources it needs to thrive. And number 3, protect it from danger. And if you do those 3 things, you'll be eating delicious fruit off this tree in no time at all. If you like this video and you like this t-shirt and you want to help me out a little bit, go to guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, maybe get some for your friends. Summer's coming, they look really good, they make you look strong. And we'll see you on the next video.